Well, for more on this story, I'm joined now in the studio by our International Affairs Editor, Angela Diffley. Good to have you with us, Angela. What should we read into this latest exchange of fire between Iran and the US?
Yeah, I think it's probably important to note on the US side, they are saying they targeted surveillance, radar, military sites, mostly in southern Iran near Hormuz, noticeably not infrastructure. There is clearly not a desire in the United States to take this all up one notch and back into a very hot war by targeting infrastructure. That would seriously change the nature of what is going on. Similarly, on the Iranian side, they have always been keen to try to involve as much as possible the Gulf states. So we have Bahrain, Kuwait, Jordan as well, sometimes, each time targeting US air bases. And the message they are sending is you would all be better off if you did not have alliances with the US, if you did not have US military bases on your territory. But importantly, no casualties. And we are also hearing, it's very difficult to piece together, but we are also hearing that negotiations continued through the night and are on course. We had Pete Hegseth, the US War Secretary, saying, we will negotiate with bombs. We're good at it. We've had the Iranian foreign minister saying we will not bow to that kind of pressure. So everybody raising it slightly, but not to a level where everything completely changes. Meanwhile, in the Strait of Hormuz, Iran is saying it is completely closed to shipping. The United States is saying that commercial vessels are going in and out. And we had Trump earlier this week talking about how the US was helping secret missions to get oil out through the Strait of Hormuz, and that ships were turning off their transponders. It's a bit difficult to see what is going on there, but that would be quite a dangerous departure for commercial ships to be doing that sort of thing. So for the moment, it seems that both sides have made a point, but that the negotiations are still on course. The ceasefire is what the ceasefire is worth. Iran saying it's meaningless. Ceasefires are often like this, violated to make points until they're truly sorted out.
Now, meanwhile, the same problem remains, don't they, when it comes to the competing objectives at play here in this war?
Yeah, and let's not forget the deal we are talking about, the negotiations continuing overnight, is very minimal. The deal under consideration is this memorandum of understanding under which the ceasefire would be extended for another 60 days. The Strait of Hormuz would gradually be reopened, and the Iranians would commit to a framework of negotiations on their nuclear program. That is very, very far from the talk of deals much earlier on in this war. It is really reduced to the bare minimum of getting things moving again, stopping the global squeeze on energy. And that in itself is far from being negotiated. And in terms of, you were talking about competing objectives, Donald Trump, at the heart of this, has a huge dilemma. The entire world knows it's a wildly unpopular war in the United States. He has midterm elections coming up. He also has to try to balance the objectives of Gulf states and Israel. But his first, obviously, primary responsibility is to the United States. But Gulf states are very wary of this thing escalating too much. They do not want the United States to hit vital infrastructure in Iran. Israel, meanwhile, polls in Israel suggest that the Israelis would like the war with Iran to continue, are very frustrated by Trump's constant pushing on Israel not to carry on in Lebanon. They want Hezbollah defeated in Lebanon. The Israelis are a long way from what they wanted out of this, and Trump is trying to field all of these different objectives in the war that he and Israel chose to start and has not evolved in the way he wanted. It will be interesting to see if the World Cup has any impact on any of this in any way.
Angela Diffley, thank you very much.